wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Rizal Akbar, and in this video I would like to tell you about my journal presentation. This assignment is to fulfill the assignment from academic listening and speaking. So that I have to make a journal presentation or academic presentation. So the article that I've been choose is the authorization of Zoom, Google Classroom, and quizzes in maritime English learning, created by Angga Aminullah Mansur and Diah Nur Asmawati. This article published on English Review Journal of English Education, UNICU, and published in 31st December 2021. Research objective. This research have three research objectives. First is collaboration, two is effective, and three is problem. First is collaboration. How can Zoom, Classroom, and quizzes collaboration to make an effective teaching and learning process by those three applications? Two is effective. This effective point out that is tangled with the first one. How can Zoom, Google Classroom, and quizzes effective in the use of teaching and learning process in pandemic era? Three is problem. Problem may occur in every aspect. So problem means to that. If Zoom, Classroom, and quizzes have the problem. So this is that the research point out. Next is background. COVID-19 outbreaks the world since March of 2020. Since then, every aspect of the world is not the same like the back of, and COVID-19 affecting such like governmental, educational, or economical, sociological, but I will point out the education. COVID-19 outbreaks the world since March of 2020. Since then, education has been locked down for about 9 months. So that's been a long time without education. So the government thinking that may use the new how to conduct the education without any risk of being spreading of COVID-19. So in January of 2021, the governmental decided to make a new strategy for teaching and learning. It called as hybrid mode of learning. Hybrid mode is where you can be offline learning in the classroom, or you can be online through the Zoom application or application that supported to make a conference online conference. Yes. So this article point out that one of the impacts of today's COVID-19 outbreak is global transformation. This swift change happened globally in every aspect of life, from healthcare system to socioeconomics, from agriculture to energy, not excludingly in education. Oyedotun in 2020 point out that school life has also transformed its outlook from initially classical face-to-face learning activities to 4 years online learning, and has led to both the employment of distance learning and the comprehension of the use of technology by the lecturers. Application that related to the background. These three applications is related to the background. First is Zoom, the next is Google Classroom, and the third is quizzes. Like Harasim, Calvert, and Groneberg in 1997 point out that the use of good online learning application or software can support the student to have opportunities in participating in teaching and learning activities. Zoom, Google Classroom, and quizzes are some of many online instructional platforms designed for facilitating online teaching and learning activities. Each platform with each of its features represent distinctive characteristic and function itself. Zoom embodies the nature of synchronous online learning. Method. This research applies a qualitative approach in which application the use of learning platform, Zoom, Google Classroom, and quizzes in maritime English online learning classes are observed and described. You can see this pattern through this paragraph. First is preparation. In this preparation step, we have to prepare that everything may support in teaching and learning activities in online. Just like we have to prepare the material, we have to prepare the time, we have to prepare the application that supported in the use of online meeting, like Zoom, for example. The next is the use of that three application. In this step, we describing how this three application is very useful for being used in this current situation, especially in online learning. 3 is questionnaires. Questionnaires are given to the student to make the student interpret that questionnaires. And after all that 5 steps, we do an evaluation to decide whether this research is good or this application 3 is effective or not. Result. The learning is divided into 2 activities. The material given are derived from selected of SMCP with a 75 minutes of learning duration per meeting. Minutes of learning. We have a pie chart. This pie chart is divided into 2 parts. The yellow part or orange part shows the practice, and the red part shows the explanation. So this number shows how many minutes that we use in that part. For example, for practice part, we use 30 minutes. For the explanation, we use 45 minutes to do that. Zoom. Zoom is a video conferencing platform that can be used through a computer desktop. And allows the user to connect online for video conference. Explanation, the material, the class is organized via Zoom, and the material are mostly presented through PowerPoint presentation in combination with other audiovisual media like video presentation from YouTube. The rest of 30 minutes provided for drills and practice. The students are engaged in spoken practice either individually or collectively in a group in the use throughout of the breakout room panel and make class more lively and controllable. Google Classroom. In the assignment session, the students work on the assignment or project both individually and collectively at their most convenient time based on all of the materials and instruction uploaded in the classwork activity. In their Google Classroom account, their work later submitted into the submission panel based on the due date. The instructor do the scoring and evaluation right at the same panel. Quizzes. Quizzes is utilized to measure students' vocabulary comprehension in the primary vocabulary quizzes. Through quizzes, the students can experience new perspective on having a quiz since they do not feel like doing or a quiz or exam as they commonly do in more conventional with pen and paper. So this perceptual preposition in the use of Zoom and Google Classroom and quizzes. Table 2, this I screenshot this table because I found a difficulty to make my table myself. So I just screenshot the table, and this table it shows set of perceptual preposition on the use of Zoom, Google Classroom, and quizzes. Proportional inquiry. These have a 13 inquiry, I think, yes. And we sent all of these questionnaires, or yes, we call it as questionnaire or inquiry propositional, whatever you want. We send this through the 62 of 110 students in that school to make their perspective in this teaching and learning online based. Interval index. Table 3 is category interval index. Index 0% to 19.99%. Scale is strongly disagree. 20% to 39.99% mean disagree. 40% to 59.99% is unsure. And 60% to 79.99% is agree. And 80% to 100% is strongly agree. Inquiry form. This results from response to the 5 inquiries. These 5 inquiries is to mean that the participation of the students to tell how they ready to be doing online learning by using Zoom application, Google Classroom, and quizzes. Sorry. And next is, so this index shows that every questionnaires have more than 70%. It means that most of the students are agree with the questionnaires. That makes they are really ready to be doing in online learning. So you can see all of this table, yeah, and this is the rest of the inquiries, and mostly except the last, they are strongly agree with the inquiries. So that means they are very ready to doing that online learning. So for the conclusion, the authorization of Zoom, Google Classroom, and quizzes in online meeting e-learning eliminate but restores the principle, roles, and functions of a conventional face-to-face setting. It is channeled in synchronous, asynchronous, and hybrid modes of learning within 2 forms of activities, namely explanation and practication. The use of Zoom represents the function of a classroom with its properties like whiteboard and markers. By utilizing Zoom, the instructor is able to present the materials and interact with the students. These activities are much as is similar to what we commonly do in a classical face-to-face setting. Google Classroom is like a classroom cabinet in which reference book, workbooks, and class agendas are organized there. It is utilized as a means of materials and assignment storage and distribution. On the other hand, quizzes represent the role of a test paper with a joyful gamificational made and outlook. So this research finally come to an end, and for the effective of learning, this research surely, I'm surely this is very effective, because through the data from the table of the questionnaires, most of the students are strongly agree with the questionnaires. So that means this article and this Zoom application, these 3 applications, Zoom, Google Classroom, and quizzes, is very effective to be used in online learning. So maybe that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.